Good evening, y'all. Welcome to the Supernatural Inc. Spiritual Speaking, where the bar is always open and the spirit is always served. How y'all doing tonight? I hear there's some storms up in the KC area, and there's some storms moving into the south. I think Texas just got hit. It's moving up the Arkansas, Missouri way. So to all my peeps out there, please stay safe. Please stay safe. Give me a shout out if you can hear me okay. Trying out earbuds tonight because God knows we've had microphone issues and streaming issues. Um, have to say, MediaCom has been out here every week, probably 2 and 3 times a week, a couple weeks in a row, and they finally fixed the pole outside our house with a part that was broken. Um, I guess I finally got them to understand that it was not my outlets and it was not me, it was their equipment. And so I'm hopefully streaming and sounding better tonight. Yeah. So I'm hoping they're jumping on. Say hi. Go ahead and text me if you're on with me tonight, so I know who's watching. Got home from an event that was a great event at Emmaus. It was by Haunted Souls with a Z. It was a pro night. So they do these great pro nights where people can come out that are teams for free. Supposed to be professional teams. And we come out and get to check out a location maybe we haven't been at before, or, get to do some work that we've not gotten to do before with other teams. And it's a great meet and greet experience. And so we got to go to Emmaus, which is in Marthasville, Missouri. It was an asylum, a children's home, a poverty home, college, some other stuff. It's been a lot of different things. Sorry, I've got a cat that's coming in wanting to climb up on me. And I guess it finally closed down in 2015. It's a very active site for those of you guys that want to get tickets and check out other events that are being held there. Chris and I had a great time, met a lot of great people. Had some really good footage. We have not had time to upload that yet because we had, of course, housework, pets, yard work to do today before the storms move in. So tonight, I come on with no makeup, no anything, and one viewer. This is great. Come on, get on, people. Come watch my show. Come watch my show. They'll be on later. 9 o'clock is so late, and I think some of the schools are actually still in session for a week. So that makes it hard for people to stay up late when they have to plan for the next day. I wanted to talk about a couple things tonight. Got a couple things on my agenda. First is paranormal etiquette when going to group events. The second would be how to keep yourself safe. That question was brought up to me by several clients this weekend. And so I've got some tips for that. And then I also want to kind of talk about the drama that's going on right now with teams, not just my team, but teams. So let's start out with paranormal etiquette. Paranormal etiquette, guys, I like to think that a lot of us on this page are professional. I know Supernatural Inc.'s professional. I know our team's professional. I know a lot of Barbara and a lot of the people who post on my podcast are professionals. And I've heard you guys comment on the same things repeatedly. When you go to an event, whether it be a professional event or just a ticketed event, there's some things that you need to do. First of all, please tag all of your equipment. Hi, Carol. Welcome aboard. Please tag all of your equipment or your boxes with your name on it. Please scout out the area. And I hate to say this, but if you've got high dollar equipment, use the trunk of your car to keep it loaded. We have been very lucky not to lose things, but we have at a couple different places had people trying to pick up our stuff. So it's always a good idea to have it labeled. If you're going to leave it out there, hi, Barbara. If you're going to leave it out in the auditorium, make sure you know your peeps, because equipment can walk, and people do lose a lot of things at events. Um, this is not against haunted souls or any group. I'm just simply saying anything you go to, even if you're an independent investigator going to a tour, you have to be very cautious. So operate out of the trunk of your car if you're parked nearby, or carry a backpack and leave the bulk of your equipment in the trunk and then switch out as needed. Second of all, don't ask to borrow anybody else's equipment. It's expensive. They probably aren't going to loan it to you. We're very lucky with Haunted Souls that they have 4 or 5 cases that they rent out that have basic equipment for newbies and for people who's forgot their equipment or for whatever reason. But, bring your own equipment. And if you want to ask somebody they like the best, that's very cool to have those discussions, because you're getting to know people within different teams. Please, if you have food and water or drinks. Hi, Christine. Appreciate y'all getting on. We're talking about paranormal etiquette when you go to investigations, especially ticketed investigations where you pay for tickets. Most places will tell you, if you're in the main auditorium, like where they're giving you the history of the place, get food and drinks, that's usually where snacks are included. They ask those, not to carry them around different things. One of the things I noticed, that even at the event that we just went to, was people with their water bottles and their chip bags and all that stuff in the auditorium meeting. And what was amazing was the number of water. Sorry about that. The storms are moving in. Cigarette packets, cigarette butts, left all over, even inside buildings. Guys, we've got to do so much better. This is but please respect facilities. These people have animals that come in. They have that you're leaving your wrappers, leaving stuff around. It draws more animals. They have to pick up. Emmaus is a huge property. It's huge. And can you imagine if you had 50 people come through every couple weeks and half of those people left water bottles, how much plastic and how much shit would be laying around? Please, please be respectful of the ground rules. When they say no smoking, that's no vaping, no smoking. When they say no food, that's no food. That doesn't mean you're sitting there on the floor eating food and you leave your wrapper. Not cool. We got to do better. And these are pro teams. And I'm not just picking on anybody at this group that we were at. This is just things that I've noticed in the last 2 years of doing ticketed events locally. Please, please, when you go into a building and there's a large team, 20 people, 50 people, oh my gosh, MSP, 100 people checking out a place, please be conscious. Number one, if you're investigating the area, of your time that you spend in an area. If you're hogging an area like the solitary rooms or something like that, if you're hogging those rooms for an hour, that's an hour that 99 other people can't get into. So rotate your time. You can always go back through, but rotate your time and spend it well. Don't hog the time. The other thing on the other side of it is, when you walk into a room or you walk into a building and you see that other people are doing an SD session, or they've got rope lights, or they have grids set up, don't walk through there. Don't go into where the SD session is going on and say, hey, oh, I'm so sorry. Like, that's not good etiquette. Use your eyes, use your ears, pay attention to your surroundings. I have been in multiple investigations at ticketed events lately, multiple different ticketed events with different groups, and been walked in on and completely interrupted. It's not cool behavior. So think about it. Be as quiet as you can. Don't go in laughing and giggling into a building where people have different teams all around. There's 4 stories to a building. You've got maybe 15 people. Hi, Joanne. Hi, Canada. Joanne's from Canada. You've got all these people around, and you're walking in, slamming the door. You've just contaminated everybody's investigation. And then you're like, ha ha ha. Let's not do that. We're better than that. Again, we should all be professional in our investigations. So try to be calm, quiet, and whisper, and check out your surroundings and make sure that everybody's quiet in the group. If you walk outside, that is to talk. But when you get in the building, it's serious time. Pay attention. That's not just for other teams. That's for your safety as well. And I'm going to get into the safety side in a few minutes. If you have any questions about what I'm saying, if you agree, disagree, please feel free to comment. This is just my opinion. I mean, this is years of doing research and years of being an investigator, things I've seen. We're going to go someplace with that in my train of thought. Just so rules. Okay, so we're talking about those kind of things. If you see trash, if you see things, pick it up and put it in the trash can. For those people who forgot their manners, that's always good. Carry business cards with you. So if people want to get in touch with you, they want to watch your past. It's like a meet and greet. Even ticketed investigations will let you hand out your cards. And the thing is, it's such great networking. Other teams get to know you, and the whole point, I think, are a unit. I think it's so fun to meet other teams, and it's so cool to get cards from all over the place, So here's a little story that has absolutely nothing to do with that, but some of you guys are old enough that you'll remember ham radio. And my dad was a ham radio operator, and one of the things that I saved when he passed was his ham radio cards, because they had stamps on them from all over the world, and they had cool messages. And he would get on and he would talk to people from, they didn't have cell phones back then, so he would talk to people from, Canada, Europe, it's just all over the world, and it was so freaking cool. Yeah, I said frickin'. Whoever's doing a count, that one don't count. So, I get business cards from teams, and kind of, to me, it's that same experience. It's like, look at who I got to meet this time. And to me, it's just super fun. It's super fun to see. And I always meet new teams, and I get to meet new people, and we have the best conversations. And I had great conversations with lovely people this time. Last night, we just had such fun conversations, including stupid witch tricks and funny things like that. Apparently, there's a video out of someone who got hyssop mixed up with parsley. To me, that's like fun. And you give me a whoopee cushion, pull pranks. Yeah, you gotta have safe boundaries. And good morning, Damien. You said frickin' because it was about your dad, right? I probably did, because he would have come unglued with my language. You're right. So, yeah, you've got to have cohesiveness, and these people you're going to see at other gigs. As a matter of fact, one of the teams I hadn't seen for, gosh, a year and a half, maybe 2 years. And the lady came up to me, and I had done a reading for her, and she was on a team, and I had given her some advice. It was, don't put your purse on the floor, because when you put your purse on the floor, money goes out the door. And she remembered that, and she's like, oh my gosh, it's you. So you make new friends wherever you go. And that's kind of the end of the spiel etiquette, paranormal etiquette, being thoughtful of yourself and your teammates, being thoughtful of everyone else who's investigating, taking responsibility for your own equipment because you don't want it to walk. God knows this equipment's hella expensive. Like, there's nothing we have that's cheap. Okay, Amy is going to say my arms, but they weren't cheap because you had them tattooed. So, see, technically they weren't cheap. And then being religious, you want to pick up your trash and do things like that. Like, don't leave it around, and don't let other people's trash lay around either. Just don't. So those are the basic things. And not in review. Don't hog up a room. Don't hog up the time. Use your time well and allow other people to get into the most haunted spots of the area too. And as we all know, just check out the places they don't talk about that are open. Winning the respect of the spirits is going to encourage them to be more active and win. And that's correct. That's where respect comes in. And it's not just for the owners, the land, the property owners that we should. We pick it up because it's also the inhabited house of the spirits, and we want to be respectful. Excuse me. So, that's just the kind of respectful that we need to be doing. And I had another train of thought. Where was I going with that one? Oh, and also, don't. I like some of the new rules. Like, you go to places and they're like, don't bring in a Ouija board in. Like, obviously Damien would have to because he's got him on his arms, but don't go laying out a Ouija board, excuse me, and set up a full seance or set up a full calling, or don't set up an altar in someone else's place. And don't chastise and yell at and confront and be obnoxious with the spirits. Remember, when you're at a facility, you may not own excuse me, bad allergies, that those people may not own those spirits, but neither do you. And it's not your house. If it's in your house, you do whatever the hell you want to do with your spirits, but you don't go into someone else's house and scream at something that's living in their house. They're in their own place. Whether they're positive or negative, that is still their residence. So we don't hate to go in there condemning and yelling and screaming. That's my opinion. We don't have that right. So always being respectful. And of course, the first rule of safety is, come in clean and leave with what you have and nothing more, which is a good tie-in for the safety rules, which need to be gone over again as well. When you let your guard down at facilities and you're not paying attention to what's going on around you and your surroundings, several things can happen. A lot of these are old. I've been in 4 different places lately that has had broken glass all over the place. You don't want to, we wear sneakers. Most of us wear sneakers or flip-flops. Please don't wear flip-flops. I'm bad enough wearing Crocs. Make sure that your feet are covered. Even if it's covered with cloth, closed-toed shoes is always best, because you step on glass, it can go up through. You want thicker soles. There's also animal feces everywhere in these rundown buildings. And so, be wary when you get in your car. If you're going straight home, you walk into your house, have a place where you can take your shoes off and clean them. Most of us get in at 3 or 4 in the morning, or we get to the hotel. Don't walk through your hotel room with stuff that's got bird poop and raccoon poop and, any kind of other shit on it, asbestos or, anything, mold, paint chips, all that stuff on there. The cleanliness of your room and where you're in your house. Damien says, it'd be same as you dying of a hangover and a live TV crew bursting in. Yes. That would not be good. It would not be good. So Yes. You know, I realized last night when we were investigating, like somebody had, and I don't know which team it is. Sorry to the team if you're listening. Um, they had these great pop-up seats that they got on Amazon, and they were like two black discs, and you unscrewed them, and they're solid discs, and you unscrewed them, you pulled them apart, and you could lock it at different heights. They had like very little weight to them, and you could clip them with a carabiner onto your backpack. Perfect. Because I caught myself sitting on the floor that had all kinds of stuff on it because I wanted to do an Estes method. And by the end of the night, I was exhausted. And you put earplugs in and you cover your eyes, and balance can be an issue. So, and you're tired on top of that. So carry a seat with you or something like that that you can sit on. That's safety. Think about that. Also be aware of your surroundings because there's animals. There's live animals in some of these places. So, don't startle the animals. Come in. If you see them, don't scream. Don't run. Just back out. I'm not even going to talk about the safety involved with animals and squatters and urban excursions. That's for a whole nother night. But be cautious of those things. Be aware of your surroundings. When you let your guard down and you're not paying attention to your team members or yourself, that's when things hit us. That's when things can attach. That's when things can jump. So please be very, very careful with that. It's just, sorry about that. I was reading a private comment and I can't do two things at once. So, just pay attention at all times to what's going on and know where your teammates are. Tell them I'm leaving the room. Tell your host or the people that you check in with that you're leaving if you decide to leave early. I had never thought of that, but that's a really big deal. That was brought up last night. They're searching the buildings, doing a person count, and somebody didn't check out, and they don't know whether you're stuck in a building, if something happened to you. Now they've got to do a room search from place to place to place looking for you. So it's just let your host know that you're leaving or their checkout people. Damien says, I carry a carbon monoxide detector, but there's lots of silent. Yes. Well, there's black mold. There's animal feces. I have had to use my inhaler more this season than ever. If you're asthmatic, bring your inhalers with you. Bring a mask, an N95 or a KN95. KNs are knockoffs. They're not as good. They don't filter the really minute particulates, but they're going to help you. I am still coughing up stuff from last night, and it's my choice to go in these places. And then the summertime, yes, I know it's very hot and it's hard to breathe without a mask or a respirator on. But if you're going to do this and you have health issues, make sure you take care of your health. So checking out, that was an aside. So safety for you, bring an inhaler if you need one. And bring a baggie that you can put your tissues in if you're snotty and you're blowing your nose. Don't drop them on the floor. Saw that happening as well. Nasty. Don't do that. That's disrespectful. And I like the idea of some kind of monitor, Damien. That's awesome. Air quality monitor. Especially if you have troubles breathing or you're just going to spend a lot of time in these places. Safety as far as cleaning yourself. So, there's all different kinds of levels and of type of paranormal investigators. When I say levels, I'm not talking about bad ones to good ones. I'm talking about varying degrees of what it is we do. So there's people who scientifically investigate. Don't chew gum either. That's horrible because people spit their gum out and people step on it and it's just nasty. But I'm talking about like there's scientific, they come with equipment and they measure things, temperature readings, and they do stuff like that. No matter who or what type of investigator you are, make sure that you have some kind of protection when you go into places. And my drill, not everything and everybody is a demon. They're not. There's not near as many out there as everybody thinks. But there's a lot of negative energy, and there's people touring at the same time you are touring that have negative energy, and it's just better to be prepared. So those of us that work with spirit guides, those of us that work with different types of entities, set up your court and cord, as I call them. And if you want more information on this, I can refer you to um, some sources on this. But we all have those main spirit guides that we work with. Well, those of us that work with spirit guides have those main spirit guides that we work with. Before you go to a place, before you step out of your car, get those in order. Let them know you're going into a place, and let them know that you are asking for protection. If you're religious, your religious medals, if there's things, that you wear for protection, stones for protection, bracelets for protection, oils, essential oils, and things like that, put those on. The cord is what sits on our head. We all have a cord. It's what we work with for protection. There are main spirit guides that are going to give us that, hey, there's something to the left, or hey, we need to be careful with that, especially if you're a medium or psychic, clairvoyant, however you are. Most of us have those things that talk to us. We also have a cord. The cord, or I call them phone a friends. Phone a friend is like, you may call in Thor for help. You may call in Lilith for help. They're not walking with us every minute, every day. But if I get in trouble, that's going to be my phone a friend. I'm going to pick up the phone and I'm going to call them. So just be aware you're working with spirits, who you're working with, and who you can call in for these basic things. Archangel Michael, we've talked about numerous times, is always a great one for beginners. He'll work with anybody. So just be wary of that. I use sprays to clean off energy. I also do and I also am very religious in saying, as I leave here, I leave with what I came in with. You're not, you're staying. And it's my own little worded ritual. So everybody needs to kind of have their own little thing that they say. It can rhyme, it doesn't have to rhyme. It can be awkward. It doesn't matter. You can say it out loud. You can say it in your head, but it's something that you need to say just to make sure that everything understands. When you're sitting doing an Estes method, or you're doing meditation and things are coming to you, you need to set your boundaries. It is okay if you approach me. It is not okay if you steal my energy. It is not okay if you use me as a battery. It is okay if you touch my hair. Last night I had things touch my little cat that was like thing my hair, and I felt it, and I said, "Oh, you're touching my hair. This is so cool." And the spirit box came on and said, "You can feel that?" And it was a great conversation. I don't care if you pat my hair. I don't care if you touch me. You're not to scratch me. You're not to pull my hair. There has to be a respect there. I'm not going to damage you. I don't want you to damage me. And I'd say there's as much good energy as there is in negative. Yeah, I think negative people, when they die, sometimes become negative spirits. I think asshole people, when they die, sometimes become asshole spirits. Some don't. I mean, people change. Spirits change. But you're right. So other things to protect yourself. If you're scared, don't go. If something doesn't feel right to you, don't go. If you're at some place and you don't like the energy and you think it's off, then leave. Yeah, you are setting yourself up, if you're not using faith and the knowledge to overcome it, put yourself in that situation. Arcadia Academy is a really good place to go if you're starting out, because it's a very calm place. There's a lot of spirits there that want to talk. Of them that are really mean. There's some nuns that are assholish, but they're not like mean. They're not going to like throw you down the stairs or anything like that. There's no demonics. They're just nuns. And if you've ever had a parent that went to Catholic school, nuns in the old days were mean, and they're just old nuns that are mean, because they're nuns, not because they're going to hurt you. Does anybody have any questions so far? So we've covered um, 101, programs, and not getting into residential, just simply saying when you go to ticketed events or you're going to a tour, things to do and things not to do. Don't challenge, don't take everything as being bad when we're working with spirit boxes. Like I had a spirit box last night say, do you like the devil, Satan? Well, this was an evangelical place. So they could have actually been trying to witness to me. So think about what's being said with an open mind and being reactive in a certain way. At first, my reaction was, no, I'm not afraid of the devil. I have faith. I'm not a friend of the devil. But the question should be, do you like the devil? And are you witnessing to me? Are you going to ask, I want to hear the word of God? Be open-minded when you're doing these things. I think a good point, because most of these places we go to have older generations. They go way, way back. Some of them sent back. Their culture is different culture. Think in terms of our culture today in 2025, but think about their cultures back in the day. So maybe do you like Satan? Look at how I look to someone who's 100. What a shock! I'm sure spirit kids, they're probably like, what is this stuff? Like, what? I want to touch this. What? It's different than anything you've seen. Not a thing is trying to hurt you. I know what just happened there. That thing went down and jumped. So sometimes things that are touching you are not just touching you to be mean. They're touching you out of curiosity, because we look much different than people looked years ago. We look, I mean, a lot of, we have makeup on, and we have ornaments in our hair, or adornments with different colors. So just be aware that's going to be a magnet as well. Make sure your team members, make sure you guys know where each other are all the time. Excuse me. If somebody needs to go to the bathroom, pardon me, go as a team. Give them some privacy, but go as a team. Don't leave somebody behind. One more cough. Okay. If there are no questions, bring extra batteries too. Don't use other people's batteries. That's a no-no. Always have extra batteries. Okay. Those two things being said, the third thing I want to talk about tonight is drama within the paranormal community. This was brought up at last night's event as someone from Haunted, so they're very open about this, had their web page crashed, hijacked, and that's happening more and more to people. They fought Facebook, they got their page back, or at least it's up and running, and things been taken care of. The same thing happened, and chose to crash my own page because a past administrator for the page was doing some disrespectful things with the page. sometimes they're just fightings on something and recreate it. And so that's what we did. That's what Raven's Eye Paranormal chose to do, was just to recreate our page. And we did successfully. And if all of you guys following me, and my husband, we're so blessed. That word blessed. Haven't been better yet. We're so grateful to those of you guys that have refollowed us, because we came back and we've almost doubled the number in what 70 plus 24 is. I'm tired. I'm not good at math. Hours, which is really amazing. Be kind out there. I've had people on from the East Coast, from Get Haunted. You know, they've talked about the drama and in the paranormal. I've had people from Pennsylvania team, and they've talked about the drama and actually having to get ex partes and various orders, restraining orders, because people were harassing them and following them. When you choose to leave the team, we choose to leave, or we choose to leave the for various reasons. We left because we didn't like what was going on within the team. There was dishonesty, there was bad managing, there were things hanging our back. We didn't like that. That's not our. I'm very, very upfront about who I am and what I believe in, very outspoken about what I believe in. And it's just easier to do things my way. When we left, we did no bad mouthing. We didn't do anything. And unfortunately, that team has chosen to carry that on. We left in October, and battle is still going on. I pulled a post that I made tonight because I a cold spotter come after me saying I was talking bad about her team in Ohio. I don't know anybody in Ohio. I need to let you know. I don't know. See you, Damien. Go get 3 hugs, wise words tonight. Love you, Damien. See you next week. Get some rest, or I guess go to work and then get some rest. You know, I don't know anybody in Ohio. I don't know any Ohio teams. I don't know anyone. I have talked shit about, I don't know who. I might have seen you on a podcast. I don't know. But I have nothing against any teams in Ohio. I'm trying to play nice with my fellow teammates, my fellow people in Missouri. I only have one team that's harassing me, and I'm not harassing them. So again, I know nobody wants to hear the drama, but stay out of it. You know, don't believe everything you hear. Believe what you see, and cut slack and grace. And we have tried today, all and I'm finally making a statement tonight because I've had enough. I got angry tonight. It came after me like a spider monkey, and I did not know. I responded early in a post, and I pulled the post down immediately. I have a policy that when I'm going to respond bad, I always type it out and I let it sit there, and I did not do that tonight. But I down, and again, no names were mentioned. I still have not mentioned any names, nor will I mention any names. That's not who I am. So for full transparency, if you think that I'm saying something that is coming out of you or one of your peeps, hit me up and ask me, because I'm pretty straightforward. If I'm going to talk shit on you, I'm probably going to talk shit to your face, and just tell you what I think. And I haven't done that. I haven't. Apparently, there's some rumors going around about me leaving the Spiritual Speakeasy or leaving Supernatural Inc. I'm not. I was trying to find a new streaming way and asking a lot of questions because, as those of you guys that follow my podcast know, that my mic works half the time. My internet sucks. And if I can stream and live stream through Supernatural Inc. through another way and have better service and higher grade cameras and run my computer, I am all for paying for that service because I'm really just sort of blipping out and things lag as you guys are. But I am staying. I am faithful to Supernatural Inc. Shout out to Katie and KD. They are my peeps. They will always be my peeps. So that has been handled, and I'm not going to say anything more or on that anymore. But if you want to come after my page, DM me instead and talk to me as an adult, because we are all adults here. If I have a problem with you, I am going to tell you I have a problem with you, and I have no problem. And that being said, except for Damien does need to quit drinking energy drink, but that's beside the point. He and I have had that conversation. Any comments, anything anybody wants to discuss? We still don't have a name for our baby doll. Have not had time to run a whole lot with it. I can tell you that Mika, our German Shepherd, lays underneath it. She sits at the top of our couch with the other doll, and they sit there and they watch TV. Good thing to train a doll with, right? TV media. But she lays underneath them, so quite happy with that. The cat has quit laying next to them. I'm not sure if the cat doesn't like the doll or there's just no more room for the cat because Kenny is big. But that's the update. And let me see. I have, I'm trying to get on, we're schedules and stuff, but I'm trying to get a death doula on for next week. I met her at Enchanted, and she's an amazing young lady, and she is a death doula. And never in my life have I met a real death doula. I have met people who work hospice and work with death all the time, but to meet a doula is really exciting. And so my goal is to bring her on. She may be a little network shy. We're going to see about that. But I think it'll be a really cool and possibly sad discussion. But like I said, I had never met anybody that actually helped people transition in all ways. Vixen Paranormal, you're an RN in hospice. Yes. Yeah. I'm meeting a lot of nurses in the paranormal and metaphysical field now, and that's so exciting to me. Vixen Paranormal, have you ever worked with actually help people like with their finances and labeling things and making sure that family members they understand and are allowed to grieve and go through all of the different processes, because she covers everything from the kids, the car, like, do you have your estate in order? Just because you think that it's covered doesn't mean it's going to be covered. And just because you have a will, that's going to everybody with that's cool. See, I had never worked with one, but I was an institutional home health and prison nurse, so I didn't work around a lot of hospice. So death is not my thing. I can deal with them once they die. Immediately, once they've left the body, I'm good. I'm taking care of the body. I'm good taking care of the spirit. But that process of death, I have not figured out how to separate my emotions from that. And therefore I hate to say it's as traumatic for me in the moment as it is for the family, but really I feel it from their side and me, and it's too much. And I'm a Reiki master, and I'm able to work with disease processes and entities and separate, but death is the one thing I've not figured out how to separate from. So maybe we'll have a conversation, Vixen Paranormal, on that, because That's something I need to learn, obviously. At 63, I probably need to learn to work on that. Yeah, you never fully learn, you just cry on the way. I'm crying with the family though, man, and that's not helpful with the for the family either. Like, I mean, I know that empathy is good, but losing your shit with the family there is not cool. But yeah, that's and then it's a whole process. I'm not good at letting go. And I'm good at letting go people who are sick, and that's okay to let go. But I think it's the whole process of death and the grieving and the humanity side I have trouble separating from the family and myself. I think that's where it comes down to for me. I can put boundaries up. I'm losing my voice. Sorry. Can put boundaries up for a lot of things, but that's the one thing that I have really never learned. Um, Too traumatic, and I think it stems from my own trauma as a kid losing my dad. I just haven't worked through that. But that's another topic. We're not going to discuss that tonight. See, we just are going to move on because it's my pod and I can do that. Um, let's see. There was some of the things I wanted to cover. Hmm. Hmm. One of the things. Oh, Kenny just came in. Come here, Kenny. Want to meet the people? People haven't met you yet. Come here. Come here. Oh, 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 oh. This is Kenny Cat. Can you say hi, Kenny? Hi. Kenny hangs out with the dolls, and he hangs out in my Reiki room, and he's happy we're home. He's the asshole in the family. He's the one that breaks things and gets tied up in things and pop pop pop. Okay, okay, okay. Get down. You've said hi. That's Kenny Cat. Huh. Oh, shit covers. That's what I was going to say. I was talking about walking in a lot of these institutions we go into are old and they're really decrepit. And I mean, a lot of them are in the process of being remodeled, but you're walking through a whole lot of stuff and you're taking those shoes home and you're getting in your car. Um, surgical shoe covers would not be a bad idea, but then you have to put them in a bag and throw them in the trash when you're done. Please don't leave them at people's places. Carol says, "Hi, Kenny. Mush, mush, kisses." What's funny, Carol, is as soon as I sat him down, he turned back around and hit me. Yeah, he's a little happier now that we're home. But he had to go through his angry stage. Like, I'm so mad at you because you weren't here for a few days. So he's kind of being lovey now. He's coming back around, but there's still an attitude. Shoe covers, as you can tell, respiratory issues. So, like I said before, for those of you that joined in late, if you have respiratory issues, man, don't be embarrassed to wear a mask. I hate wearing masks. I sweat. I break out. I don't believe in masks. They're made in China. They have a lot of particles and infiltrates themselves that are just nasty. So you're breathing in that stuff, and that's not healthy either. But take precautions and do something so that you can breathe better. It's not worth going through the oxygen issues. Sorry, the oxygen issues. Um, and the breathing issues after facilities. Enter your own road down again. It's not the responsibility of the institution to keep you safe. It's up to you to keep yourself safe. Play nice. God, can we all just play nice? I really want to say that. I cannot emphasize that. It was I was having a conversation with somebody today. The conversation was very interesting. It was, know, I may not like this person that's on your team, not like this member from this team, and maybe we've had this run in, but when we get together, we have to be civil. We're all going, you know, the world of travel, like people are traveling to pay for pecans east. I'm going to be in Illinois. We might go to Kentucky. So we're looking at different kinds of places that we go to, and we're bound to run into team people, people who have posted things that we may not agree with politically or religiously, or just maybe we've got a beef with that person. We have to play nice. We're professionals. Doesn't mean we have to love and kiss on them and they have to be our forever, ever, ever friend. I will love you and smush you and rub up against you, friend. But we can say, hi, how you doing? Nice to see you. Thank you for stopping by. These are greetings that we can say and be on our way. We don't have to act like asshats and assholes to each other. So that's just part of the play nice, keep it nice, be respectful. We just all need to be. That's all I'm going to say. I'm on a path tonight about that. We should all just be respectful and play nice. There's plenty of spirits for everybody. There's plenty of haunted places for everybody. And, keep it real. And I think I've said this numerous times. There's room enough for all of us. We should all be striving for the same thing, not undermining the next to get ahead. Thank you. Don't let your egos get involved. People who are, I'm going to be famous. That's great. Be famous. But don't step on or use other people to get there. Don't do it at other people's expenses. Don't make up stories, tell lies, and talk shit about your ditch you're not doing. Because those of us that have seen, what it is that you're doing and not doing. And it becomes very public and very aware when you're doing those things multiple times in front of multiple people. People see what you're doing. They watch what you're doing. They watch how you interact. They watch how you speak. And family members as well, doing residential. So remember, the lies that you tell while you're doing whatever it is you're doing sound better, whether it be talking about someone else, only make you look bad. Just don't do it. Just be authentic. If you're authentic, this is what we do. This is what we're good at. This is something we're not good at. I hate scrying. It's not my thing. Can I do it? Absolutely, I can do it. And I can shut a mirror down fast. But I don't like doing it. I'm uncomfortable when I do it. Therefore, it's not my thing. If that's what you want me to come do, I'm not probably going to do it because I'm not comfortable doing it. There are times where we have to do that. But if it's not your thing, be honest and say, that's not my thing. I don't have that answer. I don't know one person in this field that wants to be famous. The field is rumor and it's crazy and wrong. Yes, it is. It is. He said, she said bullshit. And that's why I said, if anybody has any questions, go directly to that person. We're all big enough that we will answer and talk about any questions that need to be answered. Don't post on pages. Don't get, oh, it's a biggie. If I post something on my personal page, that is not necessarily the reflection of my husband/team. Kenny. Sorry. My cat's being an asshole cat again. Kenny. He's beating up my other cat. One person posting something of a team, if you're not posting on the team page, is not reflective of that team. We all, Like everyone has an asshole, and we all have our own opinions. And opinions are like assholes. Like I'm saying, everyone has one. Because one person on a team states something on their personal page does not mean that the entire team believes that or feels that way. So if you don't like something, scroll on. If you disagree with somebody, scroll on. We don't have to fire back. We can keep our mouth shut. If it's not for you, don't follow it. If it's for you, then follow it. And be kind. Be kind. There needs to be a lot more kindness in the world. You know, if we were all a little more kind and understanding, the world would be a much better place. Much better. And I will leave you with that tonight. It sounded like a lecture tonight, but it's, you know, to great big events and there's people. These are things I feel like we have to go over now and then, because when you've done it for 20 years, sometimes we get careless and we forget the rules. And so here it is. It's been done. Hopefully I will have my death doula next week. I look so forward to everyone being on again next. I'll appreciate you all. Stay safe with these crazy, stupid storms that are coming in waves. Bring your hanging baskets down. Buckle down your pets. Don't let them be outside during the storms. Give them the same love you give your family members. And take care. Please be kind, be safe, and remember that you are cared about. Thank you guys tonight. See you next week. Good night.